Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. Jupiter is going to station retrograde on October 9, 2024, so in just a few days, at 21 degrees. And it's going to turn direct on February 4 of 2025. So it's going to spend quite a while going backwards, quote unquote, in the sky, as it does every year. It's going to leave its shadow period on April 30 of next year, and at some point it's going to square Saturn again in December of this year, and it's going to do so next year also. But I'm going to focus more on this video about the energy that we may be feeling with this Jupiter moving retrograde in the sign of Gemini, but also as it approaches to this square again with Saturn, and that will be for the 12 zodiac signs. Now please keep in mind that I'm a Western astrologer and I follow tropical zodiac. As you listen to this video, please make sure to refer to a whole sign system, not Placidus, not any other systems, just whole sign system, because that's going to be more relatable to you. And make sure to listen to your sun sign, rising sign, and moon sign. And if you like to show some support about my work, please make sure to like, to subscribe, to share it with people that you feel like are going to benefit from this. I wish you now the best of luck. I hope this transit is going to go well and wonderful. And yeah, without further ado, let's start with the 12 zodiac signs. Hello dear Aries, Aries suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology prediction. Jupiter is stationing retrograde in Gemini at 21 degrees in your third house on October 9 Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to turn direct on February 4 at 11 degrees in the sign of Gemini, also in 2025. Jupiter is going to leave its shadow period on April 30, 2025. So the energy of Jupiter moving retrograde is going to last for a long time, for a few months. And for you, Aries, it's going to have you revise and dive deep in the way how you communicate with other people. The third house is the house of communication, the thinking process, the way how you talk to others is the house of texting, messaging, emailing, writing, talking on the phone. For a lot of you Aries, you may have a lot of communication happening here with anybody that you talk to. It could be colleagues, it could be friends, family, neighbors, people that you know. There's a need here to improve the communication style. There's opportunities to reflect a lot in the way how you talk to others and how relatable you are to them with Jupiter moving retrograde here. The third house is also the house of short distance travel. So for a lot of you Aries, you may be going back to some place that you might have been wanting to go back to for a while. You may be jumping in the car, going on some short distance trip, and spending some time somewhere that you used to go to. And this might not happen just once, it might happen multiple times as Jupiter moves retrograde in your third house. This house also rules gossiping, so be aware and be careful. If you feel the need that you want to talk about other people, it's the gossiping is like the lower vibration here of the third house. So I always tell my viewers and my clients to always try to put the planets at a higher vibration so that you can get the best benefits out of it. But Jupiter can expand that need to talk a lot about others, so be careful with that. It could also indicate that other people may be talking about you, Aries. It does not have to be bad, it could be even for good. Sometimes gossiping makes us famous, so keep that in mind. That could also happen for a lot of you, Aries. The third house is also the house of certifications, of education, things that we study and we do a lot of research on that don't require a long period of time because the ninth house rules those things. But for a lot of you Aries, you may have the need and desire to go back to some old skill that you have wanted to improve. For others of you, it could be related to even a foreign language, with Jupiter being the ruler of your ninth house. This can also indicate a desire to, again, earn some type of certification. Some of you may be going back to the online world, maybe to get some certification online, maybe to learn some kind of skill, to improve it, so that you can increase your knowledge and become more knowledgeable for other people. And as I said, Jupiter rules your ninth house. So for a lot of you Aries, you may even have to deal with legal matters. You may have some kind of communication exchanges associated with it, documents and topics that you need to go back to as Jupiter moves retrograde in your third house. Jupiter rules the 9th house also of mentors and gurus and people that teach us things. So for a lot of you Aries, there is a lot of communication that could be happening with them, things that you're learning. Maybe there could be a teacher or a guru that advises you to learn a certain skill, and you decide to do so with Jupiter going retrograde in your third house. The third house is also the house of music. So for some of you Aries, you may be going to old music that you used to listen to. I feel like that's very specific, but could definitely be the case for a lot of you Aries. This house rules also work with using the hands, like crafts. So again, there may be a need to increase the knowledge to certain hobbies that you used to do with Jupiter going retrograde in the third house. Mercury is going to be in a positive aspect to Jupiter. Mercury rules the sign of Gemini, and Mercury is going to be in the 7th house. So you may have the support of a partner as you do all these things, Aries. There could be good communication happening between you, a partner, you, and people that you deal with on one-on-one. I feel like, again, Jupiter is trying to expand the knowledge and the relatability that you may have with other people when it comes to your communication style, and Mercury is showing that you definitely have the capacity to do so, as it is going to be in a positive aspect as Jupiter stations retrograde, but it's also going to be in a positive aspect as Jupiter moves direct on February 4th. So, a lot of opportunities to improve communication style and thinking processes. This is what I have for you, Aries. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you and how they're going in your life. I always read them. I always respond. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Tauruses, Taurus suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde at 21 degrees in your 2nd house on October 9, 2024. And it's going to spend a lot of time here, going backwards, quote unquote, in the sky until February 4th of 2025. Jupiter is going to leave the shadow period on April 30 of 2025. So we're going to have this energy of Jupiter going retrograde for a long period of time. And that's why I decided to make a video and talk to you, Tauruses, on the possibilities that you may have with this energy in the sky. Now, the 2nd house where Jupiter is going retrograde for you deals with personal finances, your spending habits, your worldly wealth, and basically your bank account. For a lot of you Tauruses, you may be going back to opportunities that you had in the past when it comes to your personal finances and the way how you make money. Maybe some of you Tauruses had somebody call you to offer you some kind of job, and now you're maybe going back to that old opportunity, reviewing it and seeing if it's worth it for you for the long run. Saturn is in your 11th house of financial goals, of goals that we have for the future. So a lot of you are reassessing if you're in the right industry, if you're making the right amount of money, if you're in the right career, with Pluto also re-entering the sign of Aquarius in your 10th house very soon. So there is a lot of introspection here happening with Jupiter in the 2nd house and the way how you make money and the way how you deal with your personal finances. For others of you Tauruses, as Saturn and Jupiter come together in a square, which is going to happen in December, you may be reviewing your spending habits, maybe writing down a budget, where your money is going, where your money is coming from, kind of even sitting down with family members, maybe even a partner that you have shared resources and finances with, to understand how much money is coming in and how much money is going out, to be able to become more knowledgeable in your shared resources and finances, but also in your personal income, and how much money you're making and how much money you're spending. The 2nd house is also the house of self-worth and self-esteem. For a lot of you Tauruses, you may be addressing and readdressing self-sabotaging patterns, traumas that you may have had in the past, with Jupiter being your 8th house ruler, that you want to heal from and you want to kind of detach from, so that you can increase your self-confidence and love yourself more, to increase your self-esteem and the way how you view yourself. As Jupiter moves retrograde in the second house that deals with these things, you may have a lot of introspection, a lot of desire to heal, even through a lot of research, a lot of different methods that could be helping you to increase that self-confidence and self-esteem during this retrograde period. The second house is also the house of sensuality, the house of five senses, the house of food. For a lot of you Tauruses, you may be reviewing how much food you're taking in, and if you need to make any kind of adjustments to the food that you're eating, maybe moving from one pleasurable thing to something else, maybe going back to old foods that you used to eat before, just because it brings you more happiness, it makes you feel more self-confident, makes you value yourself more, and kind of get closer to feeling those five senses that are so important for you Tauruses. The second house is also the house of grounding. I can see a lot of you Tauruses going out there and spending time in nature, even in solitude. For others of you, you may be doing so to, again, have that mental health in place and kind of feel good about yourself, kind of feel good in your physical body, and also to even manifest outwardly, using that time to really understand within yourself your inner world, and especially with a lot of focus on personal finances and self-confidence. Mercury is going to be in the sixth house, which is, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, and it's going to be in a positive aspect to Jupiter, so there could be some positive communications happening here with people at work, people that you deal with in your daily basis. If you are working, you can even have good communication with colleagues that somewhat have some kind of positive aspect to the way how you make money, even a possibility for a promotion, or at least a plan so that you can receive a promotion as Jupiter moves direct or it leaves the shadow period next year. But this is what I have for you Tauruses for this transit for Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked or resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Geminis, Gemini suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in your sign astrology predictions. Jupiter is going to station retrograde on October 9, 2024 at 21 degrees in your first house. This is very important for you Geminis. Jupiter is going to bless and re-bless your physical body. For a lot of you Geminis, you have some protection from the divine, from God, from the universe, from the creator when it comes to your physical body, when it comes to your health, the way how you present yourself to the world also. The first house is also the house of your identity and the first impression. So for a lot of you Geminis, Jupiter is giving you the opportunity to use the knowledge that you've gained as Jupiter transited your first house when it comes to yourself, when it comes to knowing yourself better, so that you can come across as more confident, can come across as more optimistic as a person, more knowledgeable, more down to earth also, with the squares that we've had with Saturn and the one that we're also going to have in December. So there is expansion here happening in your identity when with this retrograde Geminis. Jupiter is giving you the opportunity to learn more about yourself, especially through partnerships, especially through your one-on-one relationships, with the way how you connect with others, as Jupiter rules your seventh house. For others of you Geminis, Jupiter going retrograde here can indicate learning more about yourself through open enemies, through having to deal with them, as Jupiter is going to spend here quite a bit. I don't know if I mentioned that Jupiter is going to leave the shadow period on April 30th of 2025. So you're going to have this energy for some time, Geminis. But there's a lot of need here to expand and increase the knowledge about your identity, about who you are as an individual, your personality, your personal vitality also. And I myself am a Taurus rising, so I've been through this transit as Jupiter was in the sign of Taurus. So I definitely increased a lot in knowing who I am as a person, what I want, who I want to become, where do I see myself in the future. So there is a lot of introspection and reviewing when it comes to all these things, Geminis, for you. The first house is also the house of your pioneering, the house where we initiate things, the house of starting things. So for a lot of you Geminis, if you've been wanting to restart something in your life, that Jupiter is going to have you go back into certain details and review certain things so that you can start in a positive way, in an expansive way, in an optimistic way. And basically Jupiter is going to give you that green button as it leaves that first house, and it continues on the journey in the second house and so forth. So there's a need for expansion here, but there's also a need to be very down to earth. So for a lot of you Geminis, you may be starting something new in your life, especially with your career, because Saturn is in your 10th house, and Saturn is going to square Jupiter, especially in December. So there's a need here to change maybe the way how you want to come across in the world, the way how you want to be known, your status, the way how people know you. And it all starts with the first house, right? So this is going to be very impactful for a lot of you Geminis, but there's definitely a lot of expansion happening here. And it's not an easy energy with a square to Saturn in the 10th house. So you have an activation of angular houses, but where there's tension, there's growth. There's the most amount of growth. So don't be afraid of it. Just love it, embrace it, look for opportunities to develop yourself when it comes to your personality so that you can become more empowered as a person. But not only that, again, if you've been wanting to initiate something important new in your life, then make sure to be very down to earth, to go through important details so that you can have a successful initiation in whatever area of your life you're looking for. The first house is the number one, is the house where we pioneer, is the house where we start something new, something fresh in our lives. Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, your ruler, is going to be in your 5th house in the sign of Libra, in a positive aspect actually to Jupiter. So I think a lot of you Geminis are using your creativity, are using your optimism to expand in your identity of who you are as a person, in your outward appearance also in your physical body, in the way how you want other people to see you, in your personal style. You're again being protected and blessed when it comes to your physical body and how you want to be seen by other people in the physical body, in the outer image, but also in your identity and who you are as a person. I feel like you're getting a lot of blessings with this retrograde. And as planets move retrograde in Western astrology, things become more introspective, they become more inside of us. So there's a lot of reflection that may be happening for a lot of you Geminis when it comes again to your first house matters that I talked about. I don't want to repeat myself, but I wish you the best of luck. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Cancers, Cancer suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde at 21 degrees in your 12th house on October 9, 2024, and it's going to spend here quite a bit, going backwards, quote unquote, in the sky until February 4th of 2025, where it stations direct. And then on April 30 of next year, is going to leave the shadow period. So for a lot of you Cancers, you may have this strong desire to spend some time away from the public eye, spend some time by yourself maybe, or with your loved ones, kind of hidden from the world. And you may feel very comfortable in doing so. Some of you Cancers love to get in that shell where you feel comfortable in. However, Saturn at some point is going to square this Jupiter, so there is still a need here for a lot of you Cancers to be down to earth and do a lot of research work and increase your knowledge, and expand your horizons for anything and a lot of things in your life, as Saturn squares Jupiter. And you may be doing so again behind the scenes, kind of hidden from the public eye. The 12th house is also the house of the mental health. For a lot of you Cancers, you may be going back to old routines that you had in place to be able to deal with your nervous system, to try to heal it, to try to feel healthier when it comes to it. Again, you may be taking a lot of care also of your food intake, of your workout routines, and that is because Jupiter rules your 6th house. So a lot of focus on your physical health so that you can improve your mental health. I feel like there is a need for a lot of you Cancers to take care of your inner world. And again, you may be doing so very well behind the scenes, kind of hidden from other people. The 12th house is also the house of relocating to foreign lands, living somewhere far. For a lot of you Cancers, if you have been wanting to move somewhere else, you may again have the need and desire to do more research work associated with it. Go on the internet, research places that you want to be in. If you've been focusing on moving in a certain place, that you may be really diving deep into all the details when it comes to relocating in this area. And as Saturn squares Jupiter, especially in December, there's going to be a need to be very realistic about this place that you may be going to, very down to earth, to even take practical steps to kind of balance out the pros and cons, for example, to even write down certain details, to discuss it with people that are mentors to you, that you take advice from. There could be a lot of discussion with people that are dear to you when it comes to maybe relocating. Again, this could be the case for some of you Cancers, but definitely a scenario. The 12th house is also the house of spirituality, of other dimensions, of dreams. You may be having more vivid dreams during this Jupiter retrograde that could be lasting for a while. I have a moon in Cancer, so I'm already feeling it. I've had these crazy dreams and I can barely sleep at night sometimes, but Jupiter is maybe going to increase the amount of dreams. It tends to expand whatever it touches, and the 12th house rules those things. The 12th house, as I said, is also the house of spirituality. So for a lot of you Cancers, you may be going back to a certain religion, maybe also a certain practice, a certain yoga method, meditation method, manifestation method that you used to do in the past. With this Jupiter going retrograde, there is maybe something exterior that is making you go back to these things. You may be going back to things that used to work for you when it comes to manifestation and spirituality, and basically connecting with the other dimensions, with God, with the universe, with the Creator during this transit. Now, as I mentioned, Saturn is going to be in your 9th house and is inviting a lot of you Cancers to increase your knowledge, expand your horizons, be very down to earth when it comes to selecting what you read on the internet, what you study, the information that you get from other people, the research work that you yourself do. And you may be very well doing so during this retrograde. It's going to be even more reinforced during this transit. The 12th house is also the house of import-export with foreign people, foreign lands. So if you are in that industry, there is a lot of reviewing certain details, documentations, going back to people that you used to trade with, maybe to be able to review certain things and start something fresh, something new, as Jupiter moves direct in your 12th house. The 12th house is also the house of people who are not as fortunate. For some of you Cancers, you may have this desire and need and want to serve other people, to really be there for them, to do so that you can kind of give back to God, the universe, and to create some good karma for yourself. With Jupiter here in a karmic house, it's considered to be a karmic house, there is an opportunity to do something good for others so that he can come back to you in a very positive way, especially as Jupiter moves into your first house in exaltation next year. So, if you have an opportunity to serve others, make sure to do so. It might come back to you at some point in a positive way. Jupiter again rules your 6th house of pets. For some of you Cancers, you may be getting a pet. You may be looking into getting a pet, if you don't have one, so that you can receive some kind of emotional support, some kind of love from this creature that is a creature that could, make you connect more with the universe, with God, with eternal love, with divine love. This transit of Jupiter in the 12th house may not be as strong for you Cancers, because it's not directly influencing you, but any work that you do behind the scenes, it's going to be very important as Jupiter moves in your first house. So if you do a lot of work behind the scenes, know that you might receive rewards as Jupiter moves into your first house next year. So any projects that you may be doing, kind of hidden from other people, not letting people know about it, could receive rewards, especially as Jupiter moves into the first house and then into your second house as it sextiles all these points where Jupiter was at. I hope I didn't get too specific, but this is what I have for you Cancers for this transit. I wish you the best of luck. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Leos, Leo suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde on October 9, 2024 at 21 degrees in your 11th house, and it's going to move backwards in the sky, quote unquote, until February 4th, where it stations direct at 11 degrees in the sign of Gemini. And it's going to leave its shadow period on April 30 of next year in 2025. So Jupiter is going to spend quite a while going retrograde and touching important points in your 11th house, Leos, between the 21 and 11 degrees. So if you have any planets between these degrees or points, then you may feel this retrograde the most. But this can indicate a lot of financial gains and rewards coming your way, Leos. Jupiter tends to expand whatever it touches. It blesses and protects whatever it touches. And the 11th house is the house of financial gains, abundance, and rewards. There could also be a need for others of you Leos to review, revise, and go back to a lot of details, documentation, knowledge, research work associated with financial rewards that you may be wanting to profit from. You may be hoping to profit from also, because the 11th house is the house of hopes and dreams for the future. For others of you Leos, Jupiter may be having you go back to revise where you see yourself in the future, in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. You may be really reflecting and restudying where you see yourself in the future. And especially after doing a lot of work when it comes to your self-sabotaging patterns, when it comes to your subconscious mind, and the way how you have dealt with the difficult things in life, the fears that you may have. And I said that because as Jupiter moves retrograde, it's going to square Saturn again, which it already did once in August. So Saturn is in your 8th house that rules all these things. There's a need for a lot of you Leos to be very realistic, down to earth, and kind of face some self-sabotaging patterns so that you can receive certain financial rewards, certain luck in your life, because the 11th house is seen as a lucky house. And so in order to attract the right things into your life, there's a need to be very realistic, down to earth, to kind of be brave, be strong, because Saturn rules strength, to be able to kind of reinvent yourself. Because as I say, in my other videos, I feel like the 8th house, where Saturn is sitting on, is often overlooked. But I personally think that the 8th house is very powerful, because it's the house where we transform ourselves. We basically face all the fears that we have so that we can remake ourselves. And the 9th house afterwards is the house of good karma and the knowledge that we gain after we've done the shadow side with Saturn in the 8th house for you Leos. So make sure to face all these fears and things that are not serving you anymore. And there could be certain situations that may really make you do so. So it's not that it's going to be because I'm telling you. It's just that that's how the planets are in the sky. So that may be the energy that a lot of you Leos may be feeling during this time. Now, going back to Jupiter in the 11th house, it may expand your groups of network, your acquaintances, your groups of friends. You may be revisiting with friends that you have not met in a while, maybe trying to remend and fix certain friendships, certain relationships that you may have with people that know you, acquaintances. You may be trying to do some research and understand maybe some kind of group of network that you want to be entering, maybe some kind of organization even, to be able to improve your career or improve your reputation in the eyes of others, because the 11th house is quite visible in the sky. So there is a need to re-enter certain groups of friends and acquaintances so that you can take basically your public image into the next level with Jupiter going retrograde here. The 11th house is also the house of the masses, of social media, where we access a lot of people. For a lot of you Leos, you may be going back to posting and reposting old pictures, old memories, maybe reaching out to friends that you have not reached out in a while, or even reflecting on your old friendships, reflecting on things that made you happy when it comes to your groups of friends and acquaintances. And I say, introspection because in Western astrology, as planets move retrograde, they tend to become more introspective, more in the inner world than external. So there could be definitely some things that are external, but a lot of things that could be internal for a lot of you Leos. So a need to revisit maybe a lot of things related to 11th house matters that I just mentioned. The 11th house is also the house of technology. For some of you, may be upgrading, you may be buying a new computer and your phone, or at least researching and gaining knowledge about it, because Jupiter is knowledge. So for a lot of you, you may be wanting to learn as much as possible about improving your technological world. Now, as I said, Saturn is going to square Jupiter in December of this year, and then again next year, but until then we're going to talk about it. But I just want to say that make sure to be mature when it comes to your shared resources and finances. There could be certain situations for some of you Leos to where you need to put your focus and attention in your shared resources that you have with a partner, with a family member, to maybe even see how much money you're putting in, how much money they are putting in, so that you can see how you're realigned with your long-term dreams and goals when it comes to your financial world. This can also indicate putting a lot of focus and being very mature and very practical with investments, with the way how you make money through other people's finances and resources. So again, you can reassess and realign yourself with your financial goals that you have for the future. There is a need to revise a lot of details so that you can move forward as these planets go direct, because Saturn is also retrograde. So when they go direct, you're going to feel even more the rewards of this work that you may be doing now when it comes to your shared resources, finances, and 11th house matters that I just described. But I wish you the best of luck, Leos. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. And if you liked and resonated with my video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Virgos, Virgo suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde at 21 degrees in your 10th house on October 9, 2024. And it's going to go backwards, quote unquote, in the sky for quite a while until February 4th of 2025, where it stations direct at 11 degrees in the sign of Gemini, again in your 10th house. Jupiter is going to leave the shadow area on April 30, 2025. So there's going to be a lot of introspection when it comes to your career, Virgos. And I know that this is very important for you because you do care a lot about your career. You're naturally ruled the 6th house of day-to-day job and work. So it's quite of an important topic for you. But for a lot of you Virgos, there's again a lot of reviewing and introspection when it comes to you understanding if you're in the right career in your life or not. And you understanding if what you're doing is really what you want to be doing in the long term. And as Jupiter is going to move backwards, quote unquote, because it doesn't really move backwards, it just looks like that from the earth, you're going to understand and realize that maybe the career that you're in is good enough, and so you just need to learn a bit more or change the way how you approach maybe your authority figures, have some kind of deeper understanding and expanded knowledge when it comes to your career so that you can continue in the same career. And for others of you, if you decide that you're not maybe in the right career, then Jupiter is going to give you that protection and divine intervention and help to realign you with the right one as it continues to transit your 10th house. So for a lot of you Virgos, you definitely have a lot of protection from God, the universe, the divine, when it comes to your career and what you are doing professionally in your life. Now, for some of you Virgos, if you are retiring or you're already retired, then you may be rethinking and reassessing certain details or regaining some knowledge when it comes to your retirement place, and also your finances associated with retirement, but especially the place that you're residing in, because Jupiter rules your 4th house in your chart. So there's definitely a need for some of you Virgos to reassess that. Now, if you're not retired, if you're not working professionally, then the 10th house is also the house of your status. So for some of you Virgos, there could be a change when it comes to your status. There could even just be a desire to learn more, or something that could be happening, especially in your partnerships, that kind of makes you reassess and think and rethink more about your public status. And I talk about partnerships because Saturn is going to square Jupiter from your 7th house of your partnerships at some point in December, and it already did so in August. So there's a lot of focus here for a lot of you Virgos to be more mature when it comes to your partnerships, to be more down to earth, to gain more knowledge, to learn more things so that you can improve your relationships with other people, but also enrich your public status and public reputation and the way how other people know you. Now, as I mentioned, Jupiter naturally rules your 4th house. The 4th house is also the house of emotions. So for some of you Virgos, it could be that you may be more vocal when it comes to the way how you feel about certain people in your life, the way how you feel about your authoritative figures, your partner, your one-on-one relationships that you have with other people. It could be that your emotions are a bit more visible in the eyes of others. For others of you, it could again indicate a need and desire to relocate somewhere else, to kind of get on the internet and do a lot of research and gain your knowledge about places that you want to be living in, or at least your house, your apartment, your real estate, your rental agreement, also mortgages, especially again with Saturn squaring from the 7th house that deals with contracts and agreements. So I feel like for a lot of you Virgos, there could be a lot of things happening in your life, especially during this time. Your angular houses are activated, and Mercury is also your ruler, and it also rules your 10th house. So there is a focus here, a lot of focus in all areas of your life, really. But I feel like after all of this, you're going to be a lot more mature and a lot more knowledgeable in the way how you approach your authority figures, in the way how you want to be known into the world, in your career, in your public reputation. There could be a lot of situations and a lot of opportunities also to expand in your career, to kind of realign yourself in what you want to be doing in your life. And as Jupiter is going to move in the sign of Cancer next year in its exaltation, in your 11th house, you may even receive rewards that are going to give you, a bigger picture of where you will be going in your life. But for now, there again could be a lot of opportunities, a lot of one-on-one communications with other people, but also with family members, with Jupiter being the ruler of your 4th house, that are going to change and strengthen your career, your public reputation, how you want to be known to the world. Remember that Jupiter is a benefic, so you definitely have some protection from God the universe, from the divine when it comes to your career, your public status. It's just that there are certain situations that are asking a lot of your Virgos to grow your knowledge, to become more mature, to become more practical, more down to earth, more realistic in all areas of your life, really, with Saturn in your 7th house and all these other transits. And let's not forget, you just had the eclipse in the sign of Pisces, that is also in your 7th house. So I feel like there's a lot of changes happening for you, Virgos. But please let me know in the comments how things are going for you. And I wish you the best of luck with this transit. Please let me know again. And if you liked and resonated with this video, remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Libras, Libra suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde at 21 degrees in your 9th house on October 9, dear Libras. And this is a good house for you. This is a positive house. This is the house of good karma. So for a lot of you, you may have some kind of expansion here, some kind of karmic rewards coming back into your life to where you feel blessed, you feel like you're lucky. You know, certain good things could be happening in your life. You're kind of being paid for what you have put out there in helping other people and being beneficial to them. The 9th house is also the house of foreign travels. So for some of you Libras, you may be going back to a place that you've been to in the past that is kind of long distance, far away. For others of you, you may be renewing visas during this time. You may be renewing or reviewing certain documentations that are associated with foreign travels, visas, citizenships, permanent residencies, things like that. The 9th house is also the house of legal matters. So for others of you Libras, if you've been dealing with a legal matter, then there is some time of going back to certain documents or rethinking things, increasing your knowledge, becoming more becoming wiser when it comes to legal matters and expanding your knowledge in these things. I forgot to mention that Jupiter is stationing direct on February 4 of 2025, and then is going to leave the shadow area and the shadow period on April 30 of 2025. So it's going to spend a lot of time, as it always does, going retrograde. Now, the 9th house is the house of our teachers and gurus and advisors, people that we basically listen to when they give us advice about the higher knowledge in life. So for a lot of you Libras, you may be re-meeting and spending some time with people that represent these kinds of things for you. The 9th house is also the house of foreign languages. So for some of you Libras, you may have an opportunity to relearn or re-speak a certain foreign language if you do so, or at least to meet people from different backgrounds, from other cultures, other perspectives in life that are quite different from yours, with this Jupiter in the 9th house retrograding here. Now, the 9th house is also the house of higher education, of universities. For some of you Libras, you may be revising, maybe transferring to a new university, if you are in a higher education institution, or you're thinking about applying, or you're thinking about changing something, kind of doing also a lot of research work so that you can become more knowledgeable about the institution that you want to be going into. And if you are currently a student, then this period can indicate the need to study more, take more exams, be very practical in the way how you take your notes, how you study, and that is because as Jupiter moves retrograde, is again going to square Saturn as it did in August, but it's going to do so again in December and then next year. And it is Saturn is sitting in your 6th house of daily responsibilities. So for a lot of you Libras, as you are wanting to expand your knowledge and become wiser and learn more about life and do a lot of research and become smarter, then there could also be a lot of responsibilities that need to be addressed. So you can become very busy. You could feel like there's a lot of things and you need to go after that are kind of holding you back. You may feel like you have the weight of the world in your shoulders, with Saturn in the 6th house, but Jupiter, I feel like, is going to bring you those divine rewards in the 9th house. That's a very positive house, and it's a good aspect to you, to your 1st house, or to your sun or moon if you have those in Libra. So definitely a lot of opportunities again to expand in your ninth house matters. Please remember to be realistic and practical in your schedules with Saturn in the sixth house, and to be very down to earth, very mature, and to make sure that you have things done so that you can, feel like you're expanding in your ninth house. But this is what I have for you, Libras, for this transit. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Scorpio, Scorpio suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde at 21 degrees in your 8th house on October 9, 2024. And it's going to spend some time going retrograde until February 4th of next year in 2025. On April 30 of next year, it is when it's going to leave the shadow period. So for you Scorpios, the 8th house is the house of transformation. Jupiter may be asking some of you to address certain fears and self-sabotaging patterns that you may have due to, life traumas, life situations, our past, that you really need to heal from. Jupiter is really helping you to heal from these things, Scorpios. And I know it feels uncomfortable because you're a sign that you feel things at the core level, you feel them very deeply. But Jupiter in the 8th house can indicate a desire, a need, a want to really heal from these things and to kind of relieve yourself from things that are not serving you anymore, basically, especially at the subconscious level. Now, the 8th house is also the house of shared resources, shared finances that you have with other people, with a partner, with family members. So for a lot of you Scorpios, Jupiter is trying to expand your shared resources, but there's a need maybe for introspection, rethinking, going back to the certain knowledge that you may have had in the past when it comes to shared resources and finances. So there's a need to reassess some things, and there could be like outer situations that could be happening in your life that ask you to do so, that make you do so. The 8th house is also the house of investments, the house that we make money from other people's money. So for a lot of you Scorpios, there is an opportunity to maybe reap the rewards from certain investments that you may have had in place, or to go back to old investments that you've had in the past, that you want to go back to kind of dive deeper into them, to gain more knowledge, to do more research work so that you can become wiser and basically more intelligent and smarter when it comes to approaching them. Now, Jupiter rules your 2nd house of your personal finances, so there's a lot of focus on finances, Scorpios, which, is one of your favorite topics. But Jupiter may be asking, Jupiter may be making a lot of you Scorpios reassess the way how you're making money, like or dislike the way how you're making money, giving you an incentive to become more knowledgeable in the way how you're increasing your personal finances, resources, the way how you're spending money also, but doing so in those shared resources that you have with somebody else or investments that you have in your life. This can also indicate a period to where you are reflecting more in your self-confidence that could be tied to those fears and self-sabotaging patterns that I mentioned in the beginning. So there's a connection between the 2nd and the 8th house here. Now, Saturn is going to square Jupiter at some point in December, and it already did so in the month of August, but it's going again to do so in December. So Saturn is sitting in your 5th house, and this can indicate opportunities to be more mature when it comes to your creative and artistic abilities, Scorpios. Saturn may be asking you to really use those skills that you have so that you can enhance your shared resources and finances, you can improve and expand in your investments, and also how you make money through other people's money. This can also indicate becoming more mature and practical in the way how you entertain yourself and have fun, so that you can heal from self-sabotaging patterns and kind of take a more practical approach when it comes to things that could have happened in the past that could have left a mark on you, basically. So Jupiter, again, the 8th house, really wants you to heal. please use this period to heal from things that don't work for you anymore, Scorpios. And I know that they may be easier said than done, but Jupiter may really give you the opportunity during this time to do so. And as it moves into the sign of Cancer in exaltation next year in your 9th house, after learning all these things about yourself, about your inner world, about your fears, self-sabotaging patterns, then Jupiter can really expand you in your knowledge, make you more knowledgeable, make you more optimistic, and even give you good karma, because the 9th house is the house of good karma, where Jupiter is going to move into next year. So going back to Saturn here in the 5th house, that also rules your children. So if you have children, Scorpios, then this could indicate reassessing, going back to seeing and understanding how much your kids are spending, how much money you should be spending for them, how much money you're putting in for their, things, for their maybe education, for their well-being. There's a need here to understand and rebudget and reassess and re-understand how much you're spending, how much they're spending, and even, try to educate your children when it comes to finances. The 5th house is also the house of romance. So for a lot of you Scorpios, you may understand that you have certain things to heal in your subconscious level to be able to approach somebody romantically, or it could be that somebody during this period of time that you may be dating triggers something in you that makes you understand that you need to heal from something in your life. And for others of you, this can indicate that you may be wanting to approach somebody romantically, but you don't feel as comfortable or confident in your finances to be able to do so. And as most of us know, Scorpios care a lot about the finances. So, this can indicate a desire, a need to make more money so that you can impress somebody. Obviously the case for just a few of you Scorpios, but this could definitely indicate a scenario with this transit. Now, I wish you the best of luck. This is what I have for you for this transit. Let me know in the comments please how things are going in your life, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Sagittarius suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde at 21 degrees in your 7th house on October 9, 2024, and it's going to spend some time in retrograde until February 4th of 2025, so next year. On April 30th of next year is going to be the time where it leaves its shadow period, its shadow area of the sky. So Jupiter is going to spend quite a bit going retrograde, as it does every year. But for you Sagittarius, this could be a very important transit. Jupiter is going retrograde in your 7th house of your partnerships. So for a lot of you, you may be revisiting with people that you had one-on-one communications with. You may be improving your relationships with other people. You may be having opportunities to kind of heal and re-amend relationships that we have with others. The 7th house is the house of marriage, but it's also the house of one-on-one relationships with other people. The first is your identity, your physical body, who you are as a person. The 7th is the one that is in front of you. So a lot of opportunities to re-amend and re-heal and fix a lot of things that you have had maybe with other people. Now, as I mentioned, the 7th house is the house of marriage. So if you are married, then there is an opportunity to kind of expand, in your marriage, to understand each other more, to get to know each other more, to see what you have in common and what differences you have also, so that you can grow in your marriage, so that you can strengthen your relationship that you have with each other. Now, I do want to mention that at some point Saturn is going to square Jupiter, and it's going to happen in December. It already happened in August, but it's going to square it from your 4th house. So when it does so in December, it can indicate a need to be very mature in the way how you express your feelings, or to be very mature in the way how your partner expresses your feelings towards you. So it could go both ways, you or the other person. This can also indicate a lot of reassessing and rethinking about real estate, about city of living, about country of living, where you want to be living, where the partner wants to be living. There is some friction, there is some discussions and reassessing that could be happening here. And I'm mentioning this because Saturn is also going retrograde in the 4th house, so there's already a lot of focus on this. But as Jupiter moves retrograde in your 7th, and it like activates your entire chart, your angular houses, it's in front of the 1st, Saturn is opposite the 10th. So there is a lot of introspection and a lot of reviewing, a lot of details, and like expanding the knowledge of where you want to be living, who you want to be living with, what city, what apartment, what house you want to be living in during this retrograde period. Now, for others of you Sagittariuses, as Jupiter moves retrograde in the 7th house, it can indicate becoming more knowledgeable and doing a lot of research and understanding and expanding your knowledge when it comes to your contracts that you have in place, agreements that you have with other people, collaborations that you have with others also, because those things are all ruled by the 7th house. This can also indicate a desire to expand your knowledge with contracts that you have with family members also, and contracts that you have in place related to your real estate and the place that you reside in. Now again, there could be changes happening in your career, in your identity, certain situations that could be going on in your partnership, in your marriage, but also in your family dynamics can change the way how you view the world and how other people see you. So there can also be a change of status in your life. I do have a friend who is a Sagittarius sun, and she opened her business in another country just recently, and as far as I know, it's going very well for her. So don't feel afraid. There could be wonderful opportunities to really change your life. When there are squares, it just indicates that you need to take action, and it can also indicate that there are certain situations that make you take action. So there's just action in there with squares. Now, I also want to say that Mercury is going to be in a positive aspect to Jupiter when it stations retrograde, and also when it stations direct in February, which indicates that mental clarity that you may need to make certain changes when it comes to your 7th house matters that you have in your life. But this is what I have for you, Sagittarius, in general for this transit. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Capricorns, Capricorn suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde in your 6th house at 21 degrees on October 9, 2024. And it's going to spend quite a bit going backwards, quote unquote, in the sky until February 4th of next year. Jupiter is going to leave the shadow area, the shadow period, on April 30 of 2025. So for you, Capricorns, the 6th house is the house of your physical health, of your physical body. For a lot of you, you may be gaining more knowledge and diving deeper in research work and talking to other people, individuals, on a daily basis when it comes to your physical health, when it comes to your physical body, when it comes to medical exams, medical screening, maybe vitamins, medicine that you're using, your personal hygiene also. Jupiter is helping a lot of you Capricorns expand your knowledge and learn new things about your health, about your body, your diet again, and also your workout routines, the way how you take care basically of your health. The 6th house is also the house of your job, of your day-to-day job and your colleagues. So for a lot of you Capricorns, there could be opportunities and situations that are making you expand your knowledge in your daily responsibilities at work, in even in making your relationships with your colleagues even stronger, kind of learning more about them. They learn more about you also, because Jupiter is the planet of knowledge, and that's why I'm talking about knowledge so much. The 6th house is also the house of service. So for a lot of you Capricorns, you may have the opportunity to serve other people, to help them out with certain things. You may use your personal knowledge to maybe even help people that you used to help somehow in the past. They in one way or another come back into your life, and you have to kind of take care of them and reassess them and help them out. The sixth house is also the house of your pets, taking care of other animals. So for a lot of you Capricorns, you may be maybe getting on the internet and like kind of learning how to get certain vitamins or certain outfits for your pets, kind of gaining more knowledge about them in general. If you are an accountant, an analyst, if you are in the armed services, the police, some kind of governmental job also, then this can indicate opportunities to strengthen your relationship with your clients or with your authority figures and your colleagues also. There could be changes happening at workplace if you are in any of these industries. Now Jupiter rules your 12th house, Capricorn, so there may be a need to look at your health and like focus on your health because you want to improve your mental health. That's one of the things that the 12th house rules over. So you may be focusing maybe on enriching your brain, foods that could be doing good for you during this retrograde period. The 12th house that is ruled by Jupiter is also the house of working in private. So for some of you Capricorns, you may even be spending time with colleagues, kind of one-on-one and kind of hidden from others, to where you can expand again your knowledge about their lives, about their personalities, who they are, and they do the same about you. This can also indicate taking on responsibilities in your life, kind of taking on old responsibilities, maybe becoming a bit busier, because Jupiter tends to expand whatever it touches. So it could expand the responsibilities that you have in your life, but it also can make you reflect on whether you should be having these responsibilities, how you can lighten up your daily schedule so that you can become more productive and basically take a wiser approach in your daily tasks. Now Saturn is going to square Jupiter at some point from your 3rd house in the sign of Pisces, and it's going to do so in the month of December. It already did in August, so we kind of felt how that was, but it's going to do so again in December, and it's letting a lot of you Capricorns to become wiser when it comes to communicating with other people. Saturn is your ruler, so you can be the initiator of a lot of things during this period. You can be the initiator of a lot of expression in your 6th house matters. You may be deciding that you want to take more responsibilities on, and that may sound like it's burdening, but maybe you want to do so that you can become more authoritative at work and expand your knowledge and kind of be of help and service to your colleagues, be of help and service to the clients, to your employees also, to do your job basically better. And I know that that's very important for you. Capricorn's career is very important for you. Now, as I said, Saturn is going to square Jupiter from your 3rd house of your thinking process also. So there is a need for a lot of you Capricorns to think carefully and be very smart and mature when it comes to your responsibilities, when it comes to your physical health, when it comes to dealing with colleagues, employees, and also the daily tasks that you have to do on a daily basis. Again, there is a lot of communication that could be happening, a lot of emails, maybe going back and forth, a lot of communication that could be happening with Saturn, your chart ruler, in the 3rd house, squaring Jupiter. But this is what I have for you Capricorns. There is expansion happening in 6th house matters. In Western astrology, as a planet moves retrograde, things become more introspective. They happen more within us. But there could also be exterior things happening. But for a lot of you Capricorns, you are revising and becoming more knowledgeable when it comes to your 6th house matters as Jupiter retrogrades here. I wish you the best of luck, and please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Aquariuses, Aquarius suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde on October 9 at 21 degrees in your 5th house, and this is a positive house for a lot of you Aquariuses. Now Jupiter is having a lot of you understand and gain more knowledge and reflect a lot on the way how you approach to your romantic dates, and I'm smiling because I have an Aquarius friend that does not want to get in the romance department, but he just has somebody very good that has crossed his way. So he's like, dang, like she's good, like I need to get myself together. And that could be the case for some of you Aquariuses. You may really get somebody that is good for you, but Jupiter is having you become more knowledgeable in the way how you flirt with them and how you approach to your romantic partners, basically. You know, how you can have some nice dates with them and allow yourself to have butterflies in the stomach. You know, with Jupiter going retrograde here, people that you might have met romantically can come back during this time, that you thought, you know, that they kind of disappeared, but you know, they can come back into your life with during this transit. The fifth house now is also the house of children. So for some of you Aquarius, you may be doing some research and regaining knowledge in you know, having kids and how to take care of them and certain things that they need in their lives. Maybe they're going to university, so you kind of have to do some research. So you know, there's a need to expand your knowledge here with your children. It could also be that something is happening in their life that they are becoming more wiser about and expanding their knowledge, and that kind of influences you also. You may be even learning from them, I feel like, Aquarius, again, if you have children. Now, if you don't have any of these, then the fifth house is the house of entertainment and having fun. So for a lot of you Aquarius, you may have opportunities to go out with friends during this retrograde, to go back to places that you used to go to, you know, have a drink, spend time with friends, acquaintances. Go back to places that like you felt joyful in and you felt very excited about. Now, I do want to say that Saturn is going to square Jupiter at some point, and it's going to happen in December. Until then, I feel like I'm going to have another video for this, so that's why I'm not saying the date exactly, but it's going to happen in the month of December, and it already happened in August, so we kind of got a feel of how the energy is going to be. But Saturn is squaring Jupiter from your second house of personal income. So it could be that for some of you Aquarius, you may feel like you want to approach to somebody romantically during this retrograde period, but maybe you don't feel self-confident enough. So Saturn in the second house is asking a lot of you, or is going to give you a lot of opportunities to increase your self-confidence, to become more mature in getting to know yourself, and to be more practical in the way how you love your personality, how you love yourself, how you love your natural talents. The second house is the house of talents that we come to this earth with, and the fifth house is the ones that we develop. But the second one is the second house is the house where, you know, we develop our talents that give us that self-confidence. And so as Jupiter is going to move retrograde and then direct squaring Saturn, there is a need to become mature and get to know yourself so that you can feel more self-confident in yourself. And I feel like for a lot of you Aquarius, you are going to end up doing that. You know, you're going to feel more self-loving after this Saturn in the second house is done. But Jupiter is letting you become more playful with life, and become more playful in your romantic approaches, to expand in your romantic approaches, to get to know people that are even going to increase your self-confidence, because sometimes we need those individuals. It could be that something nice and sweet that, you know, somebody romantically tells you, it increases and boosts your self-confidence. But there is a need to be mature in the way how you look at yourself and the way how you want to grow your self-esteem. Now, the second house where Saturn is in is also the house of personal finances. For some of you Aquarius, you may be wanting to again approach a romantic person, but you don't feel like you're making enough money to buy them the gifts that you want to, or to go on those dates that you really want to. For others of you, if you're not interested in romance, then the fifth house again is the house of children. There might be a need to or a desire to have a child, but you feel like, you know, you don't have the finances to do so just yet, and so there is some tension here that could be created. as Saturn squares Jupiter. The fifth house is also the house again of creativity, of entertainment, of having fun. So for some of you Aquariuses, there's just a need, like there could be situations and opportunities also to just be very mature with your personal finances, to like kind of see how much money you're making, how much money you're spending, the way how you're budgeting, so that you can do the things that you've always wanted to do. You can go out there and have fun and do the hobbies that you've always wanted to do and kind of expand in those, because Jupiter is pushing a lot in your fifth house matters, in, you know, in having fun and developing your hobbies and embracing them and loving them. But Saturn has been squaring it, so you know there could be second house issues, or second house, I don't want to say issues, second house opportunities to be mature so that you can develop those fifth house matters. But this is what I have for you Aquariuses for this transit. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. I wish you the best of luck. And if you liked and resonated with this video, you want to show some support, please give it a like, subscribe, comment, share it with people that you love, share it with people that are going to benefit from this. My last but not least, dear Pisces, welcome to your Jupiter retrograde in Gemini astrology predictions. Jupiter is stationing retrograde at 21 degrees on October 9th in your fourth house, and this is important for you Pisces because it is happening in an angular house. So for some of you, you may be thinking and rethinking about your home, your real estate, relocating also, maybe buying a new property, or just changing places. There is a lot of desire to be more knowledgeable about these things, to maybe go on the internet, do some research, maybe reach out to professionals, reach out to people that have a higher knowledge associated with these things, so that you can make a decision about the place that you want to be living in, Pisces. Now, Jupiter is going to spend some time in retrograde, as it does every year. It's going to station direct in February 4th in 2025 of next year. So after that, it's going to leave the shadow period on April 30 again next year. So it's going to spend quite a long time in your fourth house, Pisces. Now, besides being the home and real estate house, the fourth house deals with your emotional world. For a lot of you, you may have the opportunity to kind of heal from childhood traumas, things that may have happened when you were younger that are maybe not serving you anymore, and so Jupiter wants you to kind of introspect and go back to these things so that you can heal from them and move forward from your life. And I'm a Pisces sun myself. Last night, I just want to share this short story. Last night I was listening to music and I ran across a song that I used to listen to when I was with my first boyfriend from, you know, when I was young, when I was a teenager. And it kind of like made me reflect on the way how he made me feel. And, you know, this is not childhood, but it's like pretty early in life. And I was kind of surprised to feel like that and to like run into something like that, because I have not thought about this person at all in a very long time. But you know, there could be situations like that that can make you, Pisces, go back to old memories, to childhood memories, to home memories, to home country. If you live far away, you know, there could be situations, opportunities, people that you may be even meeting that take you back into those things and make you retrospect, because those are all ruled by the fourth house. Now, the fourth house is also the house of family traditions, of roots, of family history, of ancestry. So for some of you Pisces, you may have opportunities to dive deep into your roots, to kind of do a lot of research work and to expand your knowledge when it comes to where you come from, your traditions, the people that have come before you. You may even connect and reconnect at a spiritual level with ancestors, or just do like family history work, you know, where you can learn more about these individuals. The fourth house is also the house of interior designing. For some of you, during this Jupiter going retrograde in your fourth house can indicate that you are redesigning your home, expanding your home, thinking about changing one room to another thing, or making it more beautiful, turning into a place that makes you feel more hopeful, more optimistic, more positive about life. Now again, Jupiter is your ancient ruler, So you could be the initiator of all of these things. For others of you Pisces, you may be thinking about relocating so that you can pursue a career that is different from what you have right now. And that is because Jupiter rules your 4th house. It rules Sagittarius besides ruling you. So there's a need to maybe go to somewhere else to where you can expand your career, to kind of pursue and go after things that you are really passionate about professionally. Or this can indicate a change of status that can make you move into somewhere else, move in, move out with people in your life. Also, there can be changes associated with that also. Now, I do want to mention that Saturn is going to square Jupiter at some point, and it's going to do so in December. It already did in August. We already felt how that energy is going to be like, but the sky is slightly different in December, and I'm going to have a video completely dedicated to this. But generally speaking, we're going to feel this square between Jupiter and Saturn, for a while, and it's going to be quite predominant, and they're going to get in a square next year also. But it is important for you because Saturn is in your 1st house. So for a lot of you Pisces, there could have been opportunities and a lot of situations that have asked from you Pisces to be very mature when it comes to developing yourself, developing your personality, your individuality, and becoming wiser and mature and getting to know who you are as a person and how you want other people to treat you, how you want other people to see you as, and also the boundaries that you've created with others. And as Jupiter is going retrograde in your 4th house, squaring Saturn, there's going to be conversations for a lot of you Pisces, especially with family members, when it comes to relocating, when it comes to the place that you're living in, when it comes to your career also, that maybe you're not looking eye to eye with, but there is a need to create boundaries and to respect what you want, Pisces. And I feel like this is so important for you and for me, because I'm a Pisces sun. But it is because, we're so selfless. We're like the last sign of the zodiac. We care about everybody else and then ourselves last. But Saturn in the 1st house is reversing all of these things, okay? So it's going to give opportunities for a lot of you Pisces to become more mature when it comes to individuality, and to be able to kind of reshape your home environment in a way that it respects your boundaries, who you are as a person, and kind of who you want to be, because Saturn is the planet of time, and it kind of makes certain things last for a long time, certain changes last for a long time. Now, this can also indicate opportunities to become authoritative in your life, in your home environment, but also in your career, to even expand in your emotional world so that you can become wiser and like basically an authority figure again in your life. And it's not only in who you are as a person, but like it can also be in your partnerships also, because Saturn is opposing the 7th house. So there's a lot of changes for you Pisces. There's a lot of maturity that's going to happen during this time, and a lot of expansion also, especially in your inner world, in your emotional world, in your real estate, in your home environment, in your career, your public reputation, because Jupiter rules your 10th house. But you are having a lot of discussions with family members, with your partner, marriage partner, romantic partner, business partner, about where you want to live, about what career you want to be doing, about what kind of partnership and contracts you want to have in place so that you can have your boundaries respected, and you can also be very mature and respectful towards your identity and how you want other people to see you. So I feel like it's going to be a wonderful time to really expand and grow. And as I've said to some of the other signs, there is a square that's going to be happening between Jupiter and Saturn, but there's a need for action. There's going to be situations that are going to have you act, Pisces, to expand in your 4th house matters. And as in Western astrology, as a planet moves retrograde, it turns more introspective. So things can start from within, but they can definitely manifest in the outer world. And that could be specifically important for you, Pisces, because it is happening in an angular house and you are one of the most impacted signs. But I wish you the best of luck. Please let me know in the comments how things are going in your life. I always read your comments, as you know. And if you liked and resonated with this video and you want to show some support, please give it a like, subscribe, share it with people that you feel are going to benefit from this, and I will see you on my next video.